are spinning.
Welcome, my fellow patriots, to another episode of Heads Are Spinning. My name is Ronald Perryman.
Truth isn't truth.
We have so much to discuss as the liberals of this country are scurrying around, creating all kinds of mischief. So we need to keep our eyes on them at all times. Yes, even our own relatives and casual acquaintances. You never really know what they're up to. I once had a neighbor who I thought was a reasonable person. But once the election season came around and he started posting a few yard signs for local Democrats running for office, well, then it became clear he was not one of us. So off the record, those yard signs kept disappearing. No matter how many times we replaced them. He later moved away, and I can't say I miss the guy. But anyways, now let me introduce another true patriot, Gerald Holcolmb. I know you stand by, ready to take action when needed. It's all about staying on our toes.
Oh, and I am so on my toes right now, Ronald. I'm ready to do my part. In fact, just last night, my wife and I attended our first school board meeting. We had prepared signs and even come up with a few chants to get the crowd going. Sadly, they cleared the room and canceled the meeting before it even started. I guess someone had thrown eggs at one of the school board members walking into the building. That was probably a mistake. You know, in the past, I rarely, if ever, attended a school board meeting. I had been complacent. But now, after watching Tucker Carlson telling the world what actually goes on in the school board meetings, well, I will never go back to being a passive parent and miss a meeting ever again. Human trafficking on our playgrounds at recess, transgender surgeries done in the lunchroom after school, Black Panther training sessions in the gym. Not on my watch, that's for sure. All right, Spud, you're up. I hope you're not pro-human trafficking.
I am Spud Goodman.
The Spud man.
And no, I'm not pro-human trafficking. Get off those dumb QAnon sites, dude. The both of you also need to tune out Tucker, Sean, and Laura, as they all show you it's just basically nonstop shootings, assaults, and carjackings. And while you're at it, get off Facebook too. I really don't recognize the world you guys described. Is crime an issue? Yes, as it was with Trump in the White House. But Fox News never put that stuff on the air then, unless the crime wave was perpetrated by an illegal alien, you know? How do you both even leave your homes now? Do you have security details when you go to Safeway? And about school board members around the country. Conservative media basically describes them as doing the devil's work. Well, it makes you wonder why anyone would ever want to serve in that capacity anymore. I get the plan. It's cynical but effective. Push out normal, non-insane people and put in book-banning right-wing wackos. That's the replacement theory we do need to be concerned with right now. All right, let's just move on to the first topic, please.
Spinning. Heads are spinning.
I suggested this topic as I continue to marvel why the Democrat Party chooses such weak and overly polite candidates. It's like it's 1988 or something. It just doesn't make sense. Unless the libs just don't care about being elected to office.
I have wondered about that myself, Ronald. When you see the TV commercials of Democrat candidates versus Republican candidates, the differences couldn't be more stark. Spud, why can't your party come up with people with a little more backbone?
Why are you guys calling us soft? Like, let me ask you this. Do Democrats have to act really mean and outrageous, say things that have no connection to reality like Republican candidates do? I don't know. I guess we can't do it because we're not wired that way. Blame it on effective parenting.
Where does it say in the Constitution that successful leaders have to be all squishy and nicey nice? The world is a tough place, Spud, and politics is not patty cake. If Democrats had their way, we would all be little snowflakes, unwilling to take any risks. Like, no one in the NFL would step on the field if they had a little concussion or a bit of head trauma. Just think, where would the league and this country be then? No games on TV. You want to live in that America? Today's Republican Party is the prime defender of American exceptionalism. We are all that stands between total surrender to the mediocrity of the libs.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with mediocrity, okay? It's been the guiding principle of my career in cable TV and now radio. And let me tell you, it served me well.
Yeah, but what person or party operates on the idea that being mediocre is just fine? We have discussed this at great length on our radio show. It may have worked out for you, Spud, but career-wise, it would be a disaster for others to follow that credo. Just be average and forget about being number one. That is so un-American.
It is, Gerald, and that is what the libs are up to. It's all a plot on their part. They're playing nice, taking the high road during campaigns, refraining from saying anything that could offend others. I mean, have you ever seen a Dem with a gun in any of their ads? No, and you won't, thank God.
Yeah, just what's up with all the Republican candidates thinking they have to put out at least one ad up with an AK-47 or machine gun shooting the crap out of something? I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene shoot a wild boar from a helicopter. Is that American exceptionalism or just a hashtag sad woman desperately trying to fit in with militia members and Proud Boy wannabes?
You know, guns are a patriotic symbol, Spud. You will just never understand this.
Whatever, I'm bored with this topic. Can we move on to the next one as I came up with it?
Very well, then. Let's move on to the next topic.
Spinning, spinning. Heads are spinning.
I just want someone to answer that question. He is still out there at Trump's current downsized sorta rallies, still standing right over his shoulder with his sign, Blacks for Trump.
Look at my African American over here.
He isn't at all of them, as maybe Trump gives him unpaid sick leave or something. But still, I thought it was only Democrats that used identity politics. Are we going to soon see erectile dysfunction dudes for Trump or ex-German generals for Trump? And let's be real, how many Blacks for Trump are there? I was kind of curious and Googled it. In the last presidential election, he received around 11% of the African American vote, okay? That's not a lot of Blacks for Trump. But besides this dude, Kanye, Ice Cube, and that Harris Faulkner lady on Fox News, well, it's a pretty small club if you ask me.
Nonsense. Millions and millions of African Americans deeply love President Trump, as he has replaced Martin Luther King Jr., John F. Kennedy, and Bobby Kennedy as our true civil rights icon.
You know, I've heard from my sources that the guy holding that Blacks for Trump sign is in line for a cabinet position when our true president returns to the White House. He has become quite close to the Trump family. And I read online that he and Don Jr. often go big game hunting at animal reserves in Texas.
Wow, I did not know that. What a thrill it would be to go hunting big wild creatures with Donald Trump Jr.
Junior needs to face his day of reckoning for all of the beautiful defenseless animals he's shot over the years. Someone should drop him in the bush somewhere in Africa or even a zoo in Florida with a buttload of lions, tigers, and polar bears. And any of the other victims' heads he has proudly hanging in his home right now. He disgusts me more than his dad, if that's even possible.
You know, it sure sounds to me like you are more than a little jealous of the son of the president.
Oh, you mean Hunter Biden? Not really. I am not a fan of Hunter, as I draw the line at dating my brother's widow, and he's not that great at painting either. But he is still a slightly better person than Trump Jr.
Spud, you are threatened that today's MAGA Republican Party is stealing the old Democratic base. And you should be, as we will make America great again for almost everyone in this country. Of course, there will be exceptions. Everyone can't be a winner.
We love winners.
As there is no free lunch.
Oh, great point, Ronald. Free lunches just make people, and little kids in particular, dependent on the government. And as we know, that would spell the end of America.
Yeah, first it's a free meal, and soon people will demand clean water and other random stuff. Let's end this freaking episode as I'm getting a migraine again.
Spinning, spinning. Heads are spinning.
Before we sign off, I would be remiss if I didn't at least touch on something that I saw on Newsmax the other night. We should have seen this coming. Litter boxes are now being placed in most elementary and middle school classrooms all across this country, all in the name of providing a safe space for those furry kids to relieve themselves. How did we get here, my fellow patriots? Gerald, are you also enraged?
I am so enraged, Ronald. I read something on that Daily Caller website about this. Evidently, it started when a parent of a second grader in Indiana sued a school district there for not providing sufficient sanitary options for, number 1 and number 2. I think the kid was dressing as a Siamese cat.
Yeah, that story never happened. Totally made up by some right-wing content creator. I'm not gonna lie, when I was in grade school, I might have appreciated a portable restroom in the classroom, as there were a few occasions I didn't quite make it to the bathroom successfully. It could dramatically reduce those kind of accidents.
Hey, Spud, why do you continue to respond to every news item Gerald and I bring up by saying it's not accurate or was made up?
It's all fake news.
He's got a point, Spud. You never seem to believe what I say on this program or our radio show. You question everything. It's sad. You've become so close-minded that you can't even take in new information.
How did a political party like yours, the Republican Party, become more farther out there than the old Weekly World News?
Well, who made you the umpire of truth, Spud? I can back up everything I say on this program and on my podcast, From the Mind of Ronald Perryman, which is available everywhere for your listening pleasure.
He's right, Spud. You tend to dismiss anything that's not spread by that mainstream media that you so love. Have you ever thought that they could be wrong on the many topics that confront us daily?
No, and when they do screw up, they print or say a retraction on the air. Have you ever heard Fox News or other right-wing media ever admit they were inaccurate? The answer is, unless they're being sued in a court hearing, no. Give up that kitty litter story and go read or watch something that won't warp your brain. I'm done here, okay? I'm Spud Goodman. Be all that you can be, and I mean that. God bless and ciao.
Bye-bye.
Very well. I guess I should sign off too. I am Gerald Holcolmb, your voice for liberty and freedom.
Freedom!
Goodbye.
And I am Ronald Perryman.
Truth isn't truth.
Until we meet again, keep up the good fight. Goodbye.
Heads are spinning,